In the strange but true world that passes for media in the 21st century, a bizarre situation is unfolding in South Africa where the life of an innocent person has been put in jeopardy as a consequence of what appears to be malicious or simply poor conduct. On July 15th, 2024, independent media went on a blitz to expose who they claimed was the person behind the Twitter Goolam MV account. Now, that account has repeatedly exposed corrupt government officials over the past few years and has become a thorn in the side of corruption-accused ANC politicians and the lazy media that carry the water for them. To be clear, folks, Goolam's Twitter posts are free speech and do a public service. However, Goolam's ability to root out corruption annoys those in power, and therefore, in their eyes, Goolam must be destroyed. The embarrassed media that refused to do their job as the fourth estate, holding government accountable, seem only too gleeful to aid in the effort to destroy Goolam. And that's how we get to the current story, which is still unfolding in South Africa. In a YouTube video interview, since removed, former Minister for Life Lindiwe Sisulu made all sorts of outlandish claims and comically blamed the Goolam MV Twitter account for her failed presidential bid back in 2017.
I have been a victim of this Goolam.
Apparently, Sisulu never considered that she has nothing of substance to offer South Africa and a 30-year record of failure on her curriculum vitae. Then, as if to prove to the world how detached from reality she is, Sisulu openly admitted that as the spy chief, she and the African National Congress government conducted illegal electronic surveillance on many South Africans.
And we ourselves were exposed to a lot of information. I mean, we bugged everybody, basically.
The sad part here is that she seems to be oblivious to her admission of brazen criminal activity. And as if that wasn't enough, the Independent Line, a South African newspaper, then committed what is likely a Poppy Act violation. And the Poppy Act is protecting private information. A Poppy Act violation in disclosing and doxing the personally identifiable information of University of KwaZulu-Natal lecturer Mohammed Yacoob Vawda. Less than 2 days later, the Independent Line retracted these findings, blaming the incident on a technical glitch. However, independent media doubled down after Vawda claimed that he is not the person they publicly fingered. Now, aware of their egregious error, IOL CEO Vyasin Subramuni and Audrey Senekal Devet released a video with a lame apology that filled less than a minute of a 5-minute video. Now, the rest of the video was devoted to their self-righteous crusade to expose the owner of the Goolam account. In his less than heartfelt explanation as to why the Independent Line endangered Vawda's life, Subramuni claimed the following. Initially, our investigations identified 2 individuals linked to the Goolam MVX account, both named Mohammed Vawda. However, during the press conference, a technical error occurred in that the wrong profile was shared with our content teams and the public. A technical error? Does that also explain how you published an altered content video in your attack on Democratic Alliance Member of Parliament Ronaldo Khoz? There seems to be a lot of technical errors at the Independent Line. University of KwaZulu-Natal lecturer Mohammed Yacoob Vawda, the person incorrectly identified by independent media as the owner of the Goolam MVX account, is now suing the media house, its boss Iqbal Survey, and the editors for R1.2 million. Now, Vawda said the following. The apology was not great at all. I mean, these guys made a whole media briefing, had my photos and all my bios shared on big screens, and when they apologized, it was just a small thing being mentioned in passing. I don't think they understand the extent of the damage they did to me, my name, my career, and my family. How was that a technical error? 100%. Vawda is correct. They've destroyed this man's life and his reputation, and there should be consequences to it. Even if it was an accident, they've caused grievous harm. Now, as I previously mentioned, Vawda has now served a combined summons on the media house, Survey, and the editors involved in the press conference for an unconditional retraction and an apology, as well as general damage to the tune of $1.2 million. In court documents filed on the 19th of July, 2024, Vawda's team stated, his legal team, the post attracted 108,300 views, 782 likes, 545 reposts, and 116 replies, some of which labeled Vawda as a racist who must be castrated. What? The man isn't even involved, and people are threatening his life and threatening to castrate him? Why is the Department of Justice in South Africa not pursuing legal cases against these X accounts now? Really? Now, the courts, the lawyers for Vawda argued that this had caused harm to their client, who had received messages and calls from people verbally abusing him and threatening to kill him for 3 days since the press briefing went live. Apparently, this was also in the filing. On July 15th, 2024, a contract killing was arranged by an unknown person or persons offering a reward of 250,000 Rand to the person who would kill the plaintiff. As a result, the plaintiff suffered severe emotional and psychological trauma and had to move himself and his family to secure locations. What the Seriously? Unbelievable. Now, the document stated the statements made against Vawda were defamatory and stood against media freedom, social cohesion, social justice. Yeah, and a bit racist too. Folks, sadly, in the South African context, the events described here are not even shocking. This sort of behavior is all too common in South Africa, where slander and libel are the order of the day, except when a favored political target needs to be silenced. Then suddenly the concept of crimina injuria is the order of the day. But media, trolls, and a host of other malicious actors in South Africa constantly attack, slander, and libel innocent South Africans. Whether it's the Proteas captain Graham Smith, falsely accused of being a racist for years, and that's what's in the public record now, even though he wasn't, or it's Mohammed Yacoob Vawda, an innocent victim of a cock-up from the independent media, or the shameful doxing of the Sky Twitter account that destroyed the life of an innocent woman, or frankly, the publication of an altered video to defame a Democratic Alliance member of parliament. This happens all too often. Now, in a country where speech is not free and words can turn you into a felon with prison time, the media get away with far too much. All things being equal, the Independent Alliance admission of its conduct here will get them in legal trouble. The sad part is Vawda's legal team is seeking only 1.2 million Rand, $63,000. Now, is there some sort of cap on this? I mean, that's a ridiculously low figure. Frankly, with the horrors they've inflicted as a consequence of what appears to be a vindictive campaign to dox someone, such irresponsible conduct ought to come with a price tag that deters such future conduct. $63,000 is a joke. After legal fees, Vawda will be lucky to afford his hotel bill while he's in hiding. How about 190 million Rand? That seems a more equitable settlement. No? What do you think? This man's life has been destroyed. Graham Smith's life was turned upside down. The woman who did not own the Sky account's life was turned upside down, and the settlement she got was a joke for the suffering she went through. This media house does this repeatedly. There should be consequences to this behavior, even if it was an accident, to deter future behavior. 1.2 million Rand? I'm looking at close to 200 million Rand. What do you think about that, folks? Cheers.